So, welcome. This is the second session and part of the 6 session series. So, our main core course is called Rewire Your Mind for Success. And tonight is Sleep Better, Live Better. Who wants to sleep a little bit better?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
Beautiful voice over the speaker.
I
Nice.
was I was
I love it.
literally talking to Elliot about this 2 days ago about how sleeping has been like a struggle the past couple of weeks.
Right.
So I was like, this webinar cannot come soon enough.
Oh, yeah, you said that in your message.
Yeah.
So I want everyone to write in the chat, what do you think is a downside to not getting enough sleep? So what happens for you if you don't get enough sleep? Just type a little answer in the chat.
Low energy and focus, 100%.
Yes.
So relatable, rocks. Yeah, so already wake up tired. Okay. Yeah, 100%. Like,
Yes.
are you feeling like it's because your body hasn't been able to recover or recuperate?
I guess like too many thoughts and I cannot let them go before I go to bed.
Yes.
So
I think we all know how that feels. For sure.
Yeah, we are definitely going to address that. We're actually going to address a whole bunch of things. There are so many things that you can do to prepare yourself to sleep really well. And some of them might be things you do realize are impacting, but there might be some things that you don't realize that are impacting your sleep. So anyway, we're going to go into a whole lot of info for you tonight. So I'm going to hand it over to Elliot. If you don't know Elliot, he's this amazing soul. We've been working together for quite a few years, and I'm Cheryl Ann from Pure Bliss Metaverse. This is Elliot from Rhythms Reserve. And we happen to both be in Sydney right now, so we just jumped on this opportunity to collaborate and do some things together. So I'm going to leave it to Elliot to explain what occurs in your brain and physiologically and the impact of lack of sleep.
God, thank you, guys. So I mean, sleep, I could talk about sleep for days. We've just come out of our first webinar, so if you've missed it, please let us know. We can send that to you, but that was based around mindset and thought forms and how that kind of plays its part in our life. But sleep, I don't think it gets spoken about enough. It is the strongest, most proven way of strengthening your body and your mind that is non-drug based.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, we all know how important sleep is. So sitting here and trying to define and list out things of what's happening to your brain and body negatively when you don't sleep comes with a lot of, if not thought forms around guilt and shame around. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to drum up those kind of ideas around, well, you're not doing it, so this is why you're suffering. I think we should take this webinar as just information that then highlights things that will maybe help prioritize sleep in your life a little bit better.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go backwards and chastise ourselves for not sleeping well, but this might now from tonight be able to set some new patterns and some new behaviors.
Yeah. And so you're not in trouble. We just want everyone to feel really good.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And we've all been there and we all do that. I just know personally from my own experience as well, the impact that even just shifting your sleep habits have. But I also know that for me to do that, I kind of needed to know the bad stuff. I needed to know, oh, this is why this is affecting me through the day. So with sleep, you're looking at, if you don't get a healthy, you know what, where I'll start, can you pop in the chat how many hours of sleep you get average on a night? Just pop that into the chat for me, just so I can kind of gauge 6 to 7, Roxy, beautiful. Yeah, 5, 7, 7.5. Beautiful. Michelle's 5. Fantastic. So ideally, we're looking at, you need to have at least 6 hours of healthy sleep. So healthy sleep is regularity, quality, timing and quantity. That 6 hours, if you sleep less than 6 hours a night, the following day you are more likely to respond emotionally and react emotionally, has heightened by 60%. So you have a 60% higher chance of reacting emotionally.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we can kind of all relate to that if we think back of maybe having those conversations with a partner or with a friend or a work colleague, and that understanding around your sleep has kind of set up how that conversation is going, that difficult conversation, right? So we want to make sure by just sleeping correctly, we're going to be more ready to have these conversations and handle them in the best way possible. You want to make sure that if you don't get just one night of less than 4 hours of sleep, you reduce your cancer-fighting cells in your body by 70%. And it's crazy and it's scary, but it is factual. So,
Yes.
and again, you can always make it back. And it's not saying that, if you have one bad sleep, you're getting cancer. It's nothing like that. But it's more just to highlight the impact of what lack of sleep has on the physical body.
Yeah.
This is we're just talking about the body. Now, if we start speaking about the mind, if you do not sleep those 6 hours, it means that you're not getting a good 4 hours of REM sleep. If you don't go into REM sleep, that's the deep cycle of sleep, you will not integrate. Information will not happen. So we can make these, and this is why we run this webinar before all the other mind stuff, because again, we could go through techniques on how to shift thought forms and beliefs and core values and all that kind of juicy, amazing stuff. But if you're not sleeping correctly, it will not integrate. It will not settle in.
And that could be why some people feel they don't move past a certain point. They get a little bit stuck. It can come down to your sleeping habits, something as simple as and basic as that. And also, when you're not getting enough sleep, you know what the short-term effects are, but we never quite know what the long-term effects are. So if it's something that's happening over time and habitually, that's what we want to look at as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. There was also a study done, it was at Harvard, and they had a group of people look at two different groups of people as well. And it was based around physical appearance and attractiveness. And this sounds crazy, but the people who slept less than 6 hours were seen as less attractive physically.
Yes, yeah. There have been a few studies, actually. I've seen something about that as well.
100%. So if you don't sleep, you're ugly and you get cancer. No, I'm joking. So it's a joke. It's a total joke.
Sorry, guys.
We're gonna laugh a little bit because again, too, when we start talking the dire things of how we negatively affect the body, when we can joke about it and laugh about it, we're gonna bring a little joy around it as well, so we can have a laugh. We all understand we're consenting adults. We understand, but we're wanting to now give you the information to shift these habits.
Absolutely. And, people like you on this webinar, so people who would want to come to a webinar like this, you're part of the 3% of the aware people who want to give themselves a good life and are willing to do something about it. So good on you. We're here, we're doing it. So I want to talk a little bit too about the more woo-woo aspects of getting really good sleep. So something that also occurs when you habitually get a good deep sleep, you tend to cut off from any negative momentum that you have going. So if we're taking into account, let's say, for example, apart from feeling good, okay, there is the law of attraction aspect and the manifesting aspect as well. So law of attraction says when we have negative momentum that builds, that's when we're attracting lots of things we don't want to us, or negative things. And so when you have a really good night's sleep, you actually stop that momentum, and it is possible to wake up the next morning if you're not too searching for it the next morning. We will also, within our course, give you tools for that, okay? So things you can do when you first wake up. So if you have a really good night's sleep, that negative momentum actually gets turned around into positive momentum, and it's possible to wake up feeling really good, and that's left your body, which means you've stopped that attraction of things that are not desirable in your life. And they say that you also connect with your source energy and your higher self when you're going into that beautiful deep sleep. So we know that with meditation, getting into different deeper states has different benefits, and it aligns you with different frequencies. And so the same can be said for sleep. You get into deep states that also take you to different frequencies throughout different parts of your sleep, which heal your body. Okay. So, and I think everyone knows, really. I mean, just type up in the chat, do things go better when you feel better? Just say it, give me a yes or no in the chat. Do things go better when you feel better? So if you've had a really good sleep, we tend to feel better. We might be a little bit sleepy at first, yeah, if it's been deep. But things tend to go better, right? You attract better reactions from people. You attract better situations. You feel happier. When you feel happier, things work out better. You respond better. You're less triggered by people because you want to stay in your happy place, right? I don't want to be triggered by that
No, I
person
love that.
today. I want to be happy today.
And maybe
So-
we can even ask the group, what do you think stops you from having a good sleep?
Yes.
What are the roadblocks that you can relate to that prevent you from getting those 6 to 8 hours, that quality sleep, which is quality is 83%. So 83% of that sleep is quality sleep. Also timing, when we talk about the timing of that sleep, is it regular? And you have about a 30-minute window beforehand and after that you can kind of shift in and out of. But, are there factors that change this and then throw that sleep pattern off? If that kind of rings a bell, if you can pop it in the chat, just so we can kind of see as well. Benny, gym class at 6 a.m. Just a little gym rat, Benny. 6
Wow.
a.m. Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Some people like early morning, don't they? Some people prefer later. So it also comes down to your personal preferences or what works for you, so always take everything in line with what works for you.
Also, too, just awareness of what kind of sleeper you are. I'm going to shoot a question out to the group as well. Does anyone know what their chronotype is? Has anyone heard of a chronotype? Just yeses or no's, just in the chat for us. No, Fed, no, Roxy. No, perfect. Oh, good. Okay, guys, I'm about to blow your mind. Your chronotype is the type of sleeper that you are. Yeah. So I'm going to give you a great little exercise maybe once you've done. If you go to sleepdoctor.com, you can either be a bear or a wolf. If anyone's done the personality test, it's very similar, but it's asks you a sequence of questions that kind of highlights then when the best time for you to kind of go to bed and when you are most productive. So if you're finding, at 2 p.m. I'm super productive in the mornings, but about 2 p.m. I'm really, really tired, or you can just that knowledge of knowing, that's because I'm this kind of chronotype allows you then to shift your routine and your schedule as well. So it might be something to play with.
Yeah.
Just after.
100%. There's also a little thing called procrastination sabotage. Okay. So that's something along the lines of who has ever laid in bed and maybe had a phone with you watching TikTok or watching something, or you're still watching TV and in your mind you wanted to turn that off much earlier, but you keep going with it, you keep going. It's like a little reward for yourself. This can occur when you feel like you've given most of your day up to other people. So if you're working for someone else, and especially if you're working in a job that you're not ecstatic about, okay, you can feel like they've taken all my time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel like you've also been fulfilling your other obligations to family members and people like that. So this can be a little procrastination sabotage. So you're delaying your sleep, but you want to reward yourself with this little me time. So just be aware of that. And I would say schedule in some you time to satisfy that. I wouldn't say take away your you time, but try not to steal it from your sleep time. okay, which we'll also go into. We don't have a lot of time left, guys.
We
What
may
else
have
would you
to-
like to go into?
No, of course. I'm also just thinking too, maybe let's talk about the things that will help moving forwards that you can maybe even implement tonight.
Yeah.
Just being more aware of lights, overhead lights, guys. Does everyone have overhead lights at home? Just pop in the chat for me if your lights are above, you've got lamps, anything above eye level. Roxy, yep. And when do you turn those lights? Do you turn those lights off before you go to bed? And how soon before bed? Or is it something that you switch off and then you jump into bed as well? Right before going to bed. Yeah. So what happens with lights also, it's synthesized through the eyeball, but it's also read similar to, not like, but similar to sunlight. Sunlight releases dopamine. Dopamine will keep you awake. So if you have overhead lights and you turn them off, your brain is less likely to warm down before you go to bed, which means you're going to go into that sleep a lot later. So again, it doesn't mean that you have to switch all the lights off and sit in the dark for 3 hours. It just means be more conscious and aware of it.
Am I a weirdo? I like to do that.
That's great. But also just be aware, if you turn, you can turn the overhead lights off as well, or if you're on your phone and you like to scroll, turn the screen down. All this plays a really big part in how you then, your quality of sleep moving forwards past that.
Yeah, particularly over time. So if you practice these things over time, the benefits, you'll see the benefits. So another little thing, I just wanted to quickly show you a breathing exercise. I'm just going to turn sideways for a second. So one of the things that can wake you up in the night is you feeling like you're not getting enough oxygen. So your brain wakes you up, okay? Particularly with all of the sort of lockdown pandemic times, a lot of people were getting sick quite a lot, and we need more oxygen going from our lungs into our heart. So the little thing we can do is just pull your elbows back and take little quick sharp breaths. So and start with about 5, hold, and then breathe it out as slowly and softly as you can, right? So maybe start with 5 to 10, depending on your lung capacity, and then do 6. Count them, hold for at least 6, hold for longer if you can, and then slowly and softly as you can, breathe out. And then maybe do 7. Yeah, up to however many you can do, as many as you can do. What this does, it calms your nervous system, but it also gets a lot more oxygen going from your lungs into your heart, which relaxes your brain and satisfies that part of you.
Yeah. I mean, breathing plays such a big part in even just regulating your nervous system as well, which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Which calms you down.
Absolutely.
Also remembering to, does everyone shower? Who showers before bed? Now I can see just a show of hands, or pop it in the chat. Everyone showers before bed. Do you have hot showers? Thumbs up. Yeah. So your body it's not bad, but you've also got to remember too, before you go to sleep, your body regulates its temperature.
Yeah.
So it brings it down. So having a hot shower by raising it is also going to give your body a little bit of a miscommunication. So little things by shifting it back just an hour or so will also help that movement forwards. And understanding as well, if you're finding, if maybe like everyone in the chat, just let us know who struggles with when your mind just decides to bolt. You lie down, you close your eyes, and that's when the mind decides to go crazy. Runs through the day, runs through everything that's happening tomorrow, the stresses, concerns, the thoughts. Do you find that as well? Sure.
Occasionally, yes, yeah.
So making a conscious effort to have the intention that you are going to let the day go. When I get into bed,
Yes.
I'm going to say out loud, I'm so thankful for today. It was fantastic. It served a beautiful purpose. I am ready to let it go, knowing that I am going to sleep well, because tomorrow will take care of itself. That's it. Don't give your brain, let your brain know we've got it. We've had a great day. Tomorrow hasn't happened. It'll deal with itself when it comes. Now it's time for sleep.
Yes.
It puts you into a now process within the brain. And then the chemicals then will release in the fact of, we don't have to go to the effort to be thinking forwards or backwards.
And also you can ask the universe, if this is not too out there for you, ask the universe to remind you of anything you need to remember the next day, tomorrow, not when you first wake up, but later in the day. All right. So it's just one of those little things that also puts your mind at ease. And like you said, with the hot shower, that's really, really good. If you have your hot shower, but then allow half an hour before you're going to actually go to sleep, which is a good thing to do anyway, to just have a half hour, 45 minutes, just lying down, listen to something nice, make sure it's nothing stimulating. Try not to watch anything in that time. Try to just give yourself that extra time. So you might need to bring your shower forward, do it earlier, and give yourself that time. So there's no pressure to sleep, but I'm just going to lie here. I'm just going to listen to something, or just lie in stillness, or do a meditation, whatever works for you. But try to give yourself that buffer of time, not just, oh, I've got to sleep now. Sleep now. All right. Too much pressure.
So much pressure. Does anyone have any questions? Anything that we can kind of help with? Any concerns?
I have one.
Go for it, Fed.
Yeah. When you mentioned like REM sleep earlier, like does it mean that all the hours we sleep should be REM sleep, or is that impossible? Because
No.
normally I only get maybe my first like 3.5 to 4 hours where I'm like deeply sleeping. And then it feels more like a light sleep where I'm aware that I'm sleeping, but I'm also aware of the surroundings, if it makes any sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course. Fed, you're actually doing fine, right? You only need 4 hours of deep sleep, REM sleep. As long as you've got 4 hours of deep REM sleep, which will equivalent into that 83% quality. And because normally everyone, once you fall asleep, it takes an hour, hour and a half to kind of get into REM, and then you'll kind of come out about an hour and a half after. So as long as you're getting 4 hours of that REM sleep, also be aware, caffeine is a REM sleep suppressant, as is alcohol, as is weed, marijuana as well.
Mhm.
So just be really aware of, if you like to have a coffee in the evenings or in the afternoons, just be aware that that is going to affect your sleep.
Yeah, I actually heard about the like caffeine in a podcast a few weeks ago. So since then, I have my latest coffee at 11 a.m. because
Yes,
it takes about 10 hours for like caffeine to get out of your system. So
that's correct. Yes.
Can you stop daydreaming?
Who can feel the difference when they've had a coffee a bit too late in the day? Who can feel their sleep being affected ever? Just lying there, wondering why I can't sleep, and then you remember, oh yeah.